Welcome to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast.
My name is Jen Clark.
And I'm Elka Clark. We are a mother-daughter team who started our Zazzle e-commerce businesses over 10 years ago and have sold $15 million and counting of products on Zazzle with our designs on them.
We had so many people asking us how we did this, so we created our signature course, the Profit by Design Academy, which teaches our 5 strategies for success on Zazzle.
When we aren't helping creative entrepreneurs just like you create profitable e-commerce businesses, we love cooking food from places all over the world that we've traveled to, jet setting to our next dream destination, spending quality time with our close friends and family, or having fun creating our next bestsellers in our Zazzle businesses.
In this podcast, we share actionable steps you, the creative, can take to make money in your e-commerce business on Zazzle. Each episode will take you one step closer to achieving freedom with your time, location, and finances.
We believe that you can have anything you dream of, as long as you work smarter, not harder. And we're here to give you the tools you need to make your dreams happen. Let's get started. Hey there, it's Elka.
And Jen. And in this episode of the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast, we're talking to you about our 3 pillars, which are our business framework. And we implement these 3 pillars into our Zazzle businesses. And it's helped us create our $1 million businesses on Zazzle.
It's been an amazing way to use these pillars to judge as to whether or not our business is working properly and figure out what it is that we need to implement to make those 3 pillars actually be part of our business. And because of that, we've been very successful. So today we're going to talk about each one of them so you can really understand what each of them mean and how they can help you implement a perceivable, passive, profitable business. Mm-hmm. So where do you want to start?
Well, of course, the 3 pillars are perceivable, passive, and profitable. And the reason why we came up with these 3 pillars is because we really looked into what we wanted to create as a business online and what we wanted our vision to be, and also the framework, right? We didn't want to create a business that wasn't perceivable or that wasn't profitable or that wasn't passive. We wanted to have those things, and each and every day we take actions that help our business become more perceivable, become more passive, and become more profitable.
Mm-hmm. So let's start with the beginning, perceivable. So perceivable is a really great way to understand, just look at how you perceive something, right? It's how you look at it, what you get out of it. And what needs to happen is you need to be able to perceive that this business will work for you. Mm-hmm. In our case, we, as you know, we make money online with a company called Zazzle, or a platform called Zazzle, and we license our designs to this platform. And then when a customer purchases something, Zazzle pays us a royalty that we set, which is kind of fun, right? It's a cool business model. Mm-hmm. So for us, we had to perceive that this was going to be possible for us. And we had to perceive that Zazzle was going to be a company that would be there long term. And we did the research. We checked it out. We made sure that Zazzle was definitely a company that had values that we could align with, and I'll talk about this a little bit more about that in a minute because that's part of the perceivable, but also they were something that was long term, how they're structured, like they're a family owned business. They are not a company that's looking for making a profit so that they can appease the stockholders, for example. They are there to run the business the way they want to, and they've got it completely 100% family owned. And so as a seller on Zazzle, or a designer, whichever way you want to call it, but I'm using the Zazzle platform, and Jen is too, as a way to make our money, then we wanted to perceive that that was going to be a possibility long term for us to take that time to build a business there and to make that happen. And so we did all the checks and the history, and yes, it turns out that for us, we felt very comfortable with that. So that was a tick off the list of things that we needed to make it understandable for us that the business could work. So that's number 1. There's a lot of aspects to perceivable. The other one was, is it in alignment with what we want to do? So there's a couple of alignment aspects. One is, do they do things in a way, like does Zazzle do things in a way that align with our core principles? And they do, right? They do. For us, we are very interested in giving back.
Hmm.
We do that in our business. We always give back. We always give to charities a certain profit, a certain percentage of our take home for our courses. And even when we didn't do courses, when we did just our Zazzle business, we would always give back to certain charities. That's part of what we want to do. And that's what Zazzle does too. They not only give back, but they also have products that you can sell on Zazzle that are coordinated with companies that are doing things to help empower women and other disadvantaged people all over the world, which is kind of fun, right? It's as if you're almost doing something just by making money yourself. You're actually contributing to helping people in Africa or single moms in the US. It's really fun and feels a lot more valuable and worthy than just making a buck online. So that part was very strong, and we needed to have that align with us. The other part is the alignment with ourselves. So is this business model something that aligns with our ability to get what we want out of life? Because money is a tool, it's not the objective. And for us, it's very important for us to have time freedom and financial freedom so that we can do other things than work. We love working, but we don't want to work all the time.
Yeah.
In fact, we'd rather not work so long, but when we do work, we want to just come at it with like vigor and excitement, but we don't want to just trade time for dollars. And so that was also something that had to be really aligned with us. And the Zazzle business model does that, which is cool. So, and then the other thing is this something that's going to be perceivable in terms of our abilities? And that's really cool because there's nothing that you can't do on Zazzle. They have just set everything up so well and so easily that you just have to sign up, create a free account, open your store, check out the design tool. If you need help with all that stuff, obviously we have some courses that walk you through step by step how to do all of these things. But for us as being creatives, we kind of just picked up on it a little bit quickly, and we realized that it's perceivable for us to use the platform to create good products because we have the design skills, we have the creativity, and for us to put in the time and effort to actually make the products so that we can have a business running on Zazzle where the products make money for us.
Hmm.
So a lot of stuff goes into being perceivable. The last thing that is perceivable is also, is it a longevity thing? And I think I touched on it a little bit with Zazzle reputation initially, but even back in the day when we first started, Zazzle always seemed to be a little bit more professional and more like in tune with what like long-term goals and so on. And so for you as a business owner, whether you're picking Zazzle or some other company to work on with right now, and this is the point that you're trying to make sure that you're going to put this time and effort in. You want to get something out. You don't want it just to all be pulled out from underneath you. And so Zazzle gave us that impression that they would be here for the long haul. And so together that made a really great package for Perceivable.
Yeah.
So do you want to do
No, well, you're on a roll. So you
passive? Do the
sure.
passive.
So the second pillar in our business framework is passive. And passive came into our business framework because we had done a lot of research in terms of trying to figure out what kinds of businesses we wanted to get into. Because when we first found Zazzle, we were on a journey to find platforms where we could make money online. And a lot of the platforms weren't passive. You had to work a lot or implement a lot and actually keep on updating things. Because part of my story when I first started out making money online was actually where I got into working on a blog and a YouTube channel and doing a lot of social media promotion and doing things that were not passive. And I always had to keep on updating things and implementing new things and being the newest content and always refreshing our ideas.
Mhm.
And it just was exhausting at one point because you want to create a business that works for you, not that you're always consistently working. And we realized throughout our journey of making money online that we really wanted to find a business and create a business that was passive. So we could work on it. Obviously, we need to work hard to build that business up. But at the end of the day, it would work passively for us while we weren't technically working. And I say that technically working, because on Zazzle, you could potentially be making sales while you're sleeping or while you're on the beach or while you're hanging out with your family or any other thing that you're doing that's not physically being on the computer.
Yeah.
And so part of the business framework, which is what, as I said, passive is a very big part of our business framework, because we wanted to be able to enjoy our lives and work hard for what we're earning, but then also be able to enjoy our life, and the reason why we actually decided to start making money online in the first place.
Yeah. And I
Because
like the work once, get paid often business model. That's what I
yeah,
liked about it.
yeah. And so, first of all, it was passive, needed to be part of our business framework, and we needed to create a business that was passive. And Zazzle provided the best opportunity for it to be passive, because Zazzle's platform allows you to create products today that could potentially be sold years from now. And that actually happens to us even now to this day.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, where we've created a product years ago or even like months or weeks ago, and it sells consistently, and there isn't any like penalty for making products years ago, because the reason why they sell now is because they're virtual. They're not actual physical products until they're printed, and that's why it's a print on demand company. They're only made when someone orders your product. And so this was the ultimate passive model, because you could potentially be, doing other things and making money because you're selling things consistently. And it doesn't have to be dependent on if you're physically selling something or you're physically showing up or you're actually putting in the work right now at that moment, like
Yeah.
being in an office, for example.
Yeah, you don't have to be anywhere from
Yeah.
like a certain time, and you don't have to, yeah, the being there was very big for me too, just to have something not where I had to be somewhere and physically working so that at the end of the day someone would pay me some money.
Yeah. And so that's why you decided, first of all, to quit your day job. And if you listen to episode 1, you've realized that Elka's journey through coming to be and working on Zazzle is because she wanted to quit her day job and spend more time with her family. And that allowed her to earn money passively and be with her family and do the things that she wanted to do. And the only reason she was able to do that was because Zazzle's business platform and our core business framework included the passive aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is, one of the
Yeah.
reasons why we started working with Zazzle in the first place, is because it was passive and it allowed you to earn money and work, but not physically be in a certain space at a certain time.
And I like the fact that you can make the product once,
Mhm.
because what you're doing is you're posting it up online in the online store that you've got. But then it's there.
Yeah.
And yes, there are some limitations. If it doesn't get views in a certain time period, then Zazzle might hide it. Zazzle platform needs to stay fresh, right? So, but you can work through those things. That's not an issue. The really important part is that you can envision like all of these workers, they're your products and they were working for you. So you all actually have a business where you've made up the product once. Now this worker is being sent out into the internet space, so to speak, and it's searchable on Google. It's searchable in the Zazzle marketplace. And if someone catches it or even someone else promotes it, because that's the other cool part, there's a ton of affiliates out there that are constantly putting them on, like the links onto their blogs and on Pinterest and Instagram, because they can make money selling your products as well. So you've, by making a product, you have now enlisted not only the product, but all these other people that you'd have to pay like salaries to be
Mhm.
salespeople for you. Whereas now they're going to get their commission through Zazzle. You don't have to pay and you still get a sale. And I love that because that's all part of the big passive income model that is consistent. And now with COVID-19 and everyone shopping online, that particular model is just working so effectively. Whereas before, you had competition, you had physical stores, you had multiple different places where you might see other things that are like that. But the other part about the passive model that I like is that Zazzle provides something very unique compared to the other print-on-demand companies that are out there, and even drop shipping and Amazon and anything else where you can shop online and make passive income. They still require certain things, or you have to pay companies
Yeah.
to actually do the physical ordering and sending out the product, even if it is bought on like some Chinese website where it's like a discount product and then you're reselling it, and then selling it through Shopify or Amazon. you're still paying a lot of money. And so that kind of moves us into the lack of profitability, which is the third pillar for all of these other business models. Whereas Zazzle, it's you get your money no matter what, and you don't have to pay for shipping, you don't have to pay for ads, you don't have to pay for customer service, you don't have to pay for you don't have to pay for website development, you don't have to pay for customer service reps, you don't have to pay for billing and accounting and anything to do with all the financial side of things. All you need to do is post your products up for sale and promote them, which is really fun.
Have you heard about our Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Facebook group yet?
Are you a Zazzle designer who is struggling to find a community where you'll receive training, content, and be able to connect with like-minded creatives who also want to crush it on Zazzle? Then the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Facebook group is perfect for you.
Joining is easy. Click the link in the show notes and we will see you on the inside. Now let's get back to the show. So encompassing all of that, that's why.
Oh, and that's the other part I want to do with before we get to the profitable. I forgot all about the promotion side of things, because that's also passive.
Part of the passive, yeah.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. The reason why for like Zazzle is absolutely amazing. And as if you can't realize by our voices and how we're in love with it, then yeah, we are super passionate about Zazzle. But they have given, like, they do so much for their customers and so much for their designers too. And I think it's the perfect business model and platform because they, like Zazzle themselves, are working to actually help the designers sell their products, because if they don't sell their products or our products, then they're not making a profit either. We're working hand in hand together here with Zazzle. And so Zazzle does a lot of external promotion and marketing, and they're always keeping their platform fresh and new and updated. They're doing a lot of work for the designers, because in the end, they need to sell the products because they're making money by selling our designs. They do have, makers and brand names that they promote as well, because their whole platform is based up of thousands of different products through different brand names and also designers. But their ultimate end goal is to help everybody who's selling on Zazzle, that being designers, to actually sell their products. And so they have a huge marketing team. They're doing external promotion. You could be found on, like, our products are found on Google search engines,
and
a whole
Google
Ads, so many different places where Zazzle is doing external marketing and promotion and just making their whole platform look good and amazing, and actually helping us sell our designs because they need to make money as well. Yeah. And so for us, that's a huge benefit, because we can literally just put up a design on Zazzle. Obviously, the design has to be good. We have to title and tag it properly. We have to do all the proper business parts to the product production.
And you have to have something that people would be interested in, that Zazzle would like to promote. Yeah.
But in a perfect world, then you just need to post that for sale, and then everything else is done for you.
Yeah, which is totally passive.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and they also have a whole bunch of features that allow us to get a lot of mileage, let's say, out of something that we do in terms of promotion, which includes something called collections. And then they have all these really nice ways to just click a button and all of a sudden you've promoted it to Pinterest or to Tumblr or wherever else they decide to connect with. And so it's also passive promotion, in addition to the promotion that Zazzle does, which is active on their part, but passive on our part. So you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And that, of course, also adds to our profitability, because we don't have to pay for that marketing. We just use all of the organic ways that we have developed, and that works really, really well for us because we get a lot of sales that way. Okay, so we're going to finally move into the profitable aspect, and that has to do obviously with making money that you get to keep.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can make a lot of money, but if you don't keep it because you have a lot of expenses, then you're not really it doesn't make any sense, right? It's not worth it.
Yeah, it brings back to the example that you said before, where there are lots of people who are making lots and lots of money on the online space, but they have a lot of expenses because they're spending thousands of dollars every single month in Facebook ads.
Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. It's really crazy how much spend there is.
Yeah. I just as like an off story, like a story on the side, but we were in a marketing conference one time and they asked everybody in the room, and there was probably about 300 people in the room or plus more people. And they said, how much money are you spending on Facebook ads a month? And they leveled it up in increments of $1,000 every time that there was, it said 1,000, then 2,000, and then 5,000, 10,000. And there was more than half of the people in the room were spending more than $10,000 a month, and even some people $100,000, which is
Yeah.
like, I've seen it in person, like people doing that. So that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Which I guess that's part of how you have to play the game. But you as a creative, just like even us as creatives, like how can we compete with that?
Yeah.
So I love that Zazzle has given us so many tools, and the whole concept is so unique that we don't need to do that. We
Yeah.
in fact, it's not even, you're not even allowed to do it.
Yeah, I know. We've spent $0 on Facebook ads and we've built up both of us, $1 million Zazzle businesses.
Yes, and we've ended up selling $15 million and counting worth of Zazzle products.
Sales, yeah.
Without any Facebook ads, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Or any other promotion ads, because you're not even supposed to do that. It's not even in the user agreement, or you're not allowed to do it. It says so in the user agreement. But so the fact that you have very little in terms of operating costs means that you can take home more of your money. I mean, that also means that you maybe don't even have to earn as much in order for you to be able to get that money that you want, right? So, because if in some business models, you have to earn a ton of money, but the reason that you have to earn so much is because you have to pay out so much to get that. And there is no other feasible way. You have to basically play that game, like Jen said, with all those corporate people that were trying to learn more about how to do Facebook ads, and they were spending a ton of money, but they still didn't get the profitability that they wanted out of that. Whereas the Zazzle business model right now doesn't require you to have so many expenses that you can't, like we are personally averaging about 85 to 90% profitability with our Zazzle payout. So that means we get to keep about 85 to 90% of our money that we don't have to pay towards something, right? Like taxes or accounting or whatever. Depending on how well you've structured your company, you might have a few more expenses if you've incorporated and all that stuff. But pretty much internet, computer, graphic programs, that's it. And then the rest of it, you get to take home and pay yourself. And that's the beauty of this business. And that's why it is such a great, profitable business model.
Yeah, that's so true. And everybody, like when I first tell them about Zazzle, my friends, family members, people who are asking us about how they can make money online, like now our students or potential students, they always ask, how much money does it cost? Like, what's the catch?
What's the
and
catch?
we're like, there is no catch. You have to put in the hard work, and you have to understand the business model, and you have to build up your business to be profitable and successful. But if you didn't want to buy graphics or buy a computer program like Photoshop or Illustrator, you don't have to do that to start making money online with Zazzle. Their whole platform is built on the actual website so that you can design products, you can create them, you can post them for sale, you can open up your first store and like post products for sale and earn money without actually investing any money.
Yes, it's all done on the platform, and yeah, you don't need any other outlay except you do need internet and a computer.
Obviously, yes, you do
But
need
some
that.
people, you can even do it from a tablet.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could do it from a phone yet. I know customers can customize things using their mobile phones, but I don't know if you can literally post products on the phone. But besides that, that's all you need in terms of the equipment and the investment that you need and the daily, like the expenses monthly.
Yeah. So that's how it's extremely profitable, because you have very, very little expenses, and you obviously have to pay taxes and register as a business and figure all of that out with Zazzle, because there is a certain process that you need to do to claim your income. But besides that, it is an extremely profitable business. And that is why we chose Zazzle over multiple different platforms that we researched when we first started to try and make money online, because they either had a subscription or you had to constantly update. Yeah, well, you had to pay money to either be a part of their program or to post products for sale, or paid a monthly subscription based on how many products you have for sale. For example, I have over I don't even want to know, but like thousands of products. If I had to pay a subscription amount or a fee every time that I posted a product for sale,
Yikes.
I would have a lot of expenses.
Yeah.
But I don't need to do that because Zazzle is actually like free for the designer. You have to obviously have a good store and create good products for them to sell. But if you are profitable on Zazzle, a lot of that money goes into your pocket.
There's a couple of other aspects. This is literally the business model, but now let's look at some of the other ways that you can make a more profit than just the fact that you don't have a lot of expenses.
Yeah.
So the first thing is you touched on that slightly with the number of products. Other places will not allow you to have that many products. You can have over 100, like up to 100,000 products on Zazzle. So if you get there, that's awesome. Then they all can work for you.
Yeah.
If you sell something once, you will always have that product visible in the marketplace. If you don't sell anything in the first 18 months, then they'll hide the product, but it's all still there. So you're not wasting your time making a lot more products and repeating yourself. But all you need to do is edit it and fix it up and then make it public. It's not even that you're reposting it and for another product for sale. You're just making it public again. And so you have like a workforce that you've created with these products initially, and then you have them working for you for 18 months. And if they don't work for you, just kind of give them like a boost and give them like some new, fresh hope by changing the titles and tags, send them back out there to keep working for you to make more sales. The other thing that's really profitable about this is that the make once, sell often model, which we talked about initially with the passive part of the aspect of the business. But really, that's so profitable because you're taking a certain number of hours or even like less than an hour to make a certain amount of products, and then your products are going to sell over and over and over again. So if you make a product and then it sells for $10, or you make $10, then you've made $10 in an hour. Just for the math, you probably take less than an hour to make a product. But if you sold it once and you made $10, then your rate of making money is $10 an hour for that hour. If you sold that again another time, then you've made $20. And so actually you've been paid $20 for that 1 hour. Then you can see how it goes on. So if you sell 100 of them and then you've made, if you make $100, then you've made $100 for that 1 hour. We're still talking only that 1 hour initially that you started doing work on. Well, if you had to make $100 normally, whatever the rate is, you're going to have to spend 4 to 5 hours minimum to make that amount of money. So now you have 1 hour that's made you, let's say, the $100. So you have 4 to 5 extra hours to make another product that can make you more money the same way, so that ultimately you are earning more and more and more every time you have an hourly input into your business.
I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
So you worked an hour, so to speak, on your top selling product.
Yeah.
How much money have you made for that 1 hour? And I'll tell you mine.
Okay.
Or you don't know?
No, I do.
Okay.
I do, except it's very interesting because this one design on one product was definitely a big game changer for me. But then I used the same design on multiple other products, and I made more money and more money.
Yeah.
And so that's the other part of the profitability, which we haven't even gotten to yet. Because once I made one design and I realized it sold, then I can add it to different products and I can multiply my income by so much. I'll tell you this, I spent 1 hour, less than 1 hour, making a Christmas card one time, and it sold, and I personally made $10,000 in like a window of 2 months, because that's when it sold it, during Christmas. But it only took me an hour to make, and then after that I just kept watching my emails come in and say, hey, you sold another one of these designs. And so I made $10,000 in 1 hour.
And I think mine's about the same too. I have one design that's sold consistently, a save the date card. And I did it in less than an hour, probably maybe half an hour. And
Yeah.
I've sold about $10,000 worth,
Cool.
or earned $10,000 worth.
Yeah. This is not, you said sold. No, this is what you got
Earned
as a
take home.
home from Zazzle.
And that's only like one of our top products. And we have multiple different products that are doing that for us, because we've obviously spent more than half an hour working on Zazzle.
Yes.
But it's cool to think of it that way, that you spent that hour or that half hour, and how much money it's made you.
Yes, and also the fact that you now have all these free hours that you normally would have had to spend doing the same job to make like a similar amount of money. You can now use those extra hours to generate more products that can give you that same potential, which is the cool part about being profitable on Zazzle. So there really is no limit to how much money you can make on Zazzle, and that's the other thing that's really cool. Is Zazzle doesn't come in there and go, oh, sorry, you made
no raise for you.
No raise for you. No, it doesn't work that way. It's more like, keep going. If this product sells, Zazzle makes money too, right?
Yeah.
And it's just a win-win situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the perceivable, passive, profitable business framework that we have established as the core of our business that we really want to have in any business that we start as an entrepreneur. But now we have shown you how it just matches up so closely and clearly with the Zazzle business framework that we have been using for over 13 years and have made $1.5 million from. That's our take home, which is awesome. The last thing, though, is that now with that business framework, we've checked the company out. And now you very clearly know that Zazzle would be a great place for you to figure out, like for you to try and see if it can work for you and figure out if this is something that's going to be your business model that you're going to use to implement the 3 pillars, which is the perceivable, lots of P's, but the perceivable, passive, profitable framework, which is really important, because if you run any other business that doesn't have these pillars, you're going to be upset at some point, right? You're going to be upset because you're working so hard and you're not making money, or it's not going to be aligned with what your core values are. Like I was not aligned initially when I first started working on my 9-to-5 job. It just wasn't aligned and I couldn't see a future. I couldn't see the possibilities of all this working out. And definitely you want to have a place where you're passively making income, because life's too short. And you definitely want to have the profits coming in so you can have fun while you're enjoying your free time. So that's our story, and that's how Zazzle fits in with it. And we would love for you to understand this more about what the perceivable, passive, profitable framework is all about, because it also is very applicable to how we run our business. And that's a whole other podcast.
Thanks for listening in this episode, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to The Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur with Jen and Elka Clark.
We hope this episode has given you actionable steps to start and scale your Zazzle business so that you can have the passive online income to have location and time freedom to live your dream life.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Each review helps us reach more creative entrepreneurs like you working to create a profitable e-commerce business.
And don't forget to take a screenshot and share it on your Instagram stories and tag us at Miss Jen Clark and at Elka Clark. We'd love to hear your biggest takeaways from today's episode. See you back here next week.